Welcome to the Aesthetic Business Masters podcast, where we uncover the journeys, lessons, and strategies of leading professionals shaping the future of aesthetics in Australia. Today, I'm joined by an incredible guest, Laura Smith, the powerhouse behind Lush Skin and Body. With clinics in both Melbourne and Perth, she's grown from a small one-room start to building two thriving multi-state clinics known for luxury, results, and her team-first culture. Laura also proudly partners with Is Clinical, integrating their science-backed products into her business journey. Laura, it's such a pleasure to have you here. Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Aesthetic Business Masters podcast.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Excellent. Well, Laura, let's start at the beginning. I'm going to dive straight in. Can you take us back and tell us about the early days, what inspired you to pursue a career in beauty therapy, in changing people's lives, what it was like those first years setting up your very first salon?
Yeah, well, I think I was one of the lucky ones. Straight out of high school, I just instinctively knew that's what I wanted to do. I loved caring for other people. I always enjoyed makeup, beauty, nails when I was young. I just knew straight away that's what I want to do. And I jumped into it and I loved it straight away. So I definitely feel like I'm a lucky person that just got into it, knew it, loved it from straight away, and got straight into doing beauty therapy after my course. Worked for an amazing lady who taught me all the ropes. And I kind of moved up quite quickly and enjoyed it. And I kind of wanted to keep growing and learning. And I think 5 years in, I did my Cert 4 in training and assessment. And I wanted to get into the education side of things. And I ended up working for a skincare company, more of a retail side of things. But that's where I learned all my business acumen. So you're hiring and firing. You're making sure that you hitting your targets, converting those clients that are walking in. And then I was like, I'm really enjoying this sort of business side of things. And that's when I was like, okay, it's time to maybe do something myself. So I started off pretty small. I just opened up a little room in an osteo clinic, and it was a new established area. There wasn't any other beauty salon. So it was all brand new homes going in. I kind of got lucky because I was 25, had no idea what I was doing. I think nobody really knows what they're doing at 25, or even when you're opening your first business. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make this work. And I hustled pretty hard, pounded the pavement, and brochure dropped to all the businesses for free facials, and dropped brochures at all the homes that were opening to come and visit me. And the momentum just built really, really quickly. And I saved all my money up, and there was a shop being built downstairs. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's do a proper bricks and mortar store. And that was kind of my journey into opening my big, salon with a team, and not just the solo side of things.
How exciting. That would have been so scary at the same time.
Oh, it was terrifying, but I actually realized I actually really love the adrenaline of it. I love that starting of a business side is very exciting for me, and that building, and you're watching it grow, and you're adding team members, and you're adding services, and I don't know, there's something really thrilling about that part, but also scary. But yeah, there's definitely a risk-taking feeling about it that gets exciting.
Absolutely. And after building such a strong reputation in Melbourne, you obviously expanded to Perth. What inspired you to move? It feels like Perth is like another country away. It's closer to go from, Sydney to Fiji than it is to Perth. Can you tell us about the challenges and the move and how you came to that decision?
Yeah, so you're completely right. It is. It's like a whole different country over here. So it was the age-old tale. I moved here for love. So I was like 5 years, I think it was maybe 6 years into my Melbourne business, and I'd already removed myself from the floor. I had about 10 staff there, and I had all the systems in place. I met a man while traveling. He sat next to me on a flight and the romance began there. And then I was like, okay, well, Melbourne's running really well without me. I'll come back quarterly, check on the business. And so I made the decision to move to Perth. And I never had in my mind that to open up a second location there. I was just doing a bit of ad hoc coaching for beauty salons, and I was working for a software company, Katomba, as their educators online. So I'd educate new people coming through. And once COVID hit, it all did a funny thing to us. So I was kind of missing my business. I couldn't get back to Melbourne. My business was shut in Melbourne for a few years. And I was just that yearning of that team environment. I really missed being with my training and coaching and WA wasn't locked down. So we had the freedom here. So that's where I made the decision. I think maybe about 4 years into being in Perth, I was like, I'm ready to have a new challenge. And I opened up in the middle of COVID. I don't know what crazy person decides to open a business in the middle of COVID, but once again, I took another risk and the risk paid off.
That's so fantastic and a little bit funny at the same time, but well done for taking that risk. And yes, Perth kept the rest of the country going.
Oh, I know. And I almost had a bit of survivor's guilt because, I had all my team that were locked in their houses, they weren't able to work, and like we had such freedom here. So it wasn't a nice feeling about that, definitely. But yeah, we were very lucky here.
And Lush is known for its luxurious, holistic experience. From the atmosphere to the service, everything feels very intentional and well planned. How did you craft that? And why do you think clients respond so strongly to that?
Just frozen a little bit.
Sorry, did I?
Yeah, you just froze a little bit. That's okay. I knew that I'll know the end of the gist that you said. So when I first started my businesses, I did a vision board, and I had even at that age, I had a vision of what I wanted, and I had cut out pictures and I put them on my wall. And for me, what I wanted to create was a space that felt like someone was coming home. I wanted those big rooms. I wanted a spacious space. I wanted almost like doona covers on the beds and the pillows and the candles. And I wanted a space where people felt like they were coming home, they were going to see their friends. It was that luxury environment. Melbourne wasn't as luxury because I was doing that on a budget because I was 25. But in Perth, I got to really create my dream space. So I wanted it from every aspect, the smell when you walk in, the mood lighting, the big spacious rooms, the bed linen, the pink, the florals. Yeah, I just really like to create that space where people feel calm and safe and that they're visiting, I guess, somebody's home, because you just naturally feel relaxed then. And that's kind of the vibe I want with, when they're speaking to my staff as well. It's not that we're someone who's telling them what to do or anything like that or trying to sell them something. We're simply their friends trying to help them.
Absolutely. That's so beautiful and so nice. And I think that's probably a contributing factor as to why your clients are so loyal.
Yeah, we've been very lucky, and especially in our Melbourne space. I mean, it was open for 14 years, sorry. And, we've watched families grow. So we've watched them, get married, have children, now their children come to us. It's a very, beautiful thing to watch and see, and something that I'm really, really proud of as well.
Aw. Having been in this industry for such a long time, I am sure you have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of skincare reps, skincare brands, and heard every promise that there is out there. Let's talk a little bit about Is Clinical. What first drew you to the brand, and why did it feel like the right fit for your clinic?
Yeah, great question. So once I established Perth was a really unique space, and it was beautiful and it was luxurious, and I was finding that the brands that I had, whilst the merit to them, they were flooded in our industry. There was lots of them in the same street as us, and I was really looking for a brand that was a little bit more exclusive, that had that luxury feel that would be aligned with the space that I have here in Perth. I wanted results driven, and I wanted a point of difference as well. So the fact that they're a pharmaceutical grade product, that they're 95 to 98% botanically derived, and that they also, market really beautifully online too, which was really important to me, and great education. But another thing there was literally, I think maybe only 2 or 3 other salons in the whole of WA that had the product. So I wanted to be unique and something different. And I could see it was gaining momentum over East as well. And I was watching, I was like, no, it felt right. And then once I met with Nat, the BDM, I was like, we clicked straight away. And I was like, no, this is the right brand for me. And then we waited about maybe 6 months to see how it went in Perth. And then we introduced it in Melbourne once we saw the success we were having here.
That's fantastic. And how do Is Clinical products support your treatment outcomes differently to maybe previous products that you've had?
Yeah, look, they are great in terms of they're results driven. So all my products are obviously results driven, but you see that they're used in a lot of medical grade clinics as well. They've got for post-operative care. So they are going that little bit further and that little bit deeper in the skin. They're safer for pregnancy as well, for people going through cancer treatment. So they're just creating results driven for specific skincare zones as well. So, and I love that their serums are just packed full of ingredients. So you don't need to go and buy 6 or 7 products. You can keep it to, your cleanser, your serum, your moisturizer, your SPF. So it's a very simplified routine as well. But yeah, we loved using it here. And even their treatments are a massive back bar to do all the treatments. They've got really specified treatments like your enzyme foaming, you've got your fire and ice, and you've got your prodigy peels, and they're really effective for every client.
Yeah, sometimes it's not about the cost, but you're so busy with life, work, kids, and so tired at the end of the day, you don't want to have a skin routine that's going to take an hour to do, before going to bed. My teenage daughter loves spending an hour doing the routine.
They do. I mean, I'm a bit scared. My 7-year-old, she's starting to talk about skincare already. So they're marketing to them young these days.
Exactly. But I certainly don't want to be.
No.
Do you have a favorite product, or do your team have a favorite product they can't live without, or your clients? Is there any product within the range that you guys just absolutely love?
Yeah, I think it's the popular one with the girls and myself personally, warm honey cleanser, obsessed with that. So it's a beautiful cleanser, honey based, melts all your makeup off, beautiful, soft and smooth. You've got your reparative moisturizer, which is just your daily moisturizer. But I feel like the standout for me is their active peel, which is like an at-home peel system that you can do. So, you pop your peel on, wait a few minutes, and then you neutralize it. So your skin is glowing, so great party prep for the skin as well. So they are definitely probably our fan favorites, and even our fan favorites with our clients as well. They just fly off the shelf.
That's amazing. And you mentioned earlier about, education and how important that is. And obviously we don't know what we don't know. With Is Clinical, how do you find the training and the ongoing support, and how does that help your team to deliver results and educate your clients about ingredients and so on?
Yeah, they are really great with their education. It does make it hard because we don't have a rep in WA. So Nat is based in Queensland, but she's fabulous. So she will come over here and do education when she comes here. I think she comes here quarterly, sometimes a little bit more. But they have like an Is Clinical education online portal. So you can go on there and you can watch some YouTube clips. You can do some education, some quizzes. You've also got their booklets. We do Zoom training, but the range is pretty once you've got the booklet and you're reading about it, it's all pretty self-explanatory as well. So it's very easy to pick up on. And then they do have events as well. I think probably once a year they'll come out and do like a big event where they do training, talk about any new products that they're going to be having in store as well. But I find, like I said before, working with so many different brands, you can definitely see the difference between like a high-end luxury brand and the way they invest in their stockists and the amount of time that they put in there. And I think for me, Nat has been such a pivotal, I guess, BDM, you would call her. So for me, I always feel like she's a friend as well. That's what I love about her. I can just ring her, have a chat. There's no pushy sales. It's like she'll let me know, hey, Laura, because they have monthly promotions to help with your return on investment. And she'll be like, Laura, have you looked at that? And don't forget about this. And I'm like, oh my God, great. Thank you so much for the reminder as well. So, she'll remind me when things are going on as well to make sure that business is growing. But we love Nat. She's been a huge support. And then we have Joanna in Melbourne, who has been phenomenal for our Melbourne team there. And they've been supported really well as well down there.
Oh, amazing. And one of the biggest, I guess, challenges that a lot of clinics complain about is staffing and retaining staff, finding great staff, and then, of course, motivating and leading different personality types, sometimes even just, a 20 to 25-year-old is extremely different and has such different values and needs to someone that, maybe 35 plus. How do you, I guess, motivate and inspire your team and nurture your team and have such a loyal team?
Yeah, that is something I've always been really proud of is my team culture. And it's something that's really important to me because I don't want high turnover. That's not something I've ever wanted. And I think it always really starts with the start in the hiring process. I've always made sure that I've hired on attitude as opposed to skill. Skill I can teach, but attitude I can't, unfortunately. But I also listen to my gut, and I feel like I do have a very good gut instinct on people. It's just sort of reading cues and picking up on things. And if you know, without sounding woo-woo, but like the energy of somebody, like I have a pretty good idea of a feel if they're going to fit in, work well with the team. And I've always, like I've said, even with my like clients in terms of family, that's also how I treat my team. For me, they're family. I want to know about them. I want to know about their dreams, their desires, what they want to do, what they want to achieve, what they love to do. That's the way I know I'm going to get the best out of them. Because a lot of the times, you know, we are a full service space, so we do everything. And it's impossible for, you know, a therapist to be great at every single service. So I really want to find out about like what treatments do you love to do? What's your passion? And let's focus on that and let's get you really skilled up. And that way the clients are booking with you for those specific treatments that you're good at, that you're going to enjoy. And so I've really made a point of making sure that when they're coming into work, they're loving what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, clients are the easy part. Staff are the hardest in terms of running a business. And if I have happy team, I've got happy clients. And I've always said as well, like there's a few different reasons why team members leave. It's going to be pay rate. It's going to be culture. It's going to be not feeling appreciated. And maybe they're just not feeling like a lack of growth within the team as well. So if you can find out like what it is, you know, if someone's not feeling happy or if they're not enjoying what they're doing, really finding out about those things. Is it the pay, the lack of growth? Is it culture? Is it the team? And understanding my why. Because whenever a team member would leave, I would, which not very often, I should say, when they do leave, I would like to find out why. I like to look at it internally rather than being, I think a lot of business owners can take it offensively and feel hurt or betrayed, or rather than going that, I want to find out the why. Like, what could I have done better? What was it about the environment that they didn't feel safe in, or they weren't feeling comfortable, or they didn't feel appreciated? Because I want to grow as a boss, so I don't know this unless I find out. So, and if it's just they want to simply grow and they want to go up into their own business, I'm completely supportive of that. I love people that want to, you know, keep moving on and educating themselves and doing different things. I'm down for that. But, you know, if they're wanting to go to another salon, like I need to find why. What was it about my salon? So I think with what you were just saying before is, you know, understanding your team, really knowing them. Is it flexibility that they're needing? You know, what do they want to be happy to come into work each day? Because my biggest value in business is fun, and I want my team to be coming in to have fun every day. So finding that about that and just creating a really great team culture, I think is really important, which can also be tricky when you've got a huge or a big amount of girls as well, and even small amount of girls, finding that right balance. And I even used to find like every time I hire somebody new, it's like there's this like a disruptive period that goes on where everybody is finding out their pecking order again. They're like going, okay, where do I fit in this as a new person? It's very disruptive, creates a bit of chaos, but I always like let the team know, okay, there's just going to be a bit of chaos. Everyone's going to find their feet. We're all just trying to work each other out, and everything then settles. And it always does. You've just got to really be great at communicating that with your team. So, but no, I'm very blessed with my team. I love each and every one of them. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. And looking back, what's your proudest milestone as a business owner?
The proudest milestone, I would definitely have to say the ability to have been able to have the 2 salons. That's something something I'm really, really proud of. And the fact that I've had Melbourne for 8 years in a completely different state and been able to keep it profitable and running beautifully and keep my team intact there, I don't know, that's something I'm very proud of. When I opened Perth, I actually fell pregnant 3 months later. So that was even like, oh my gosh, what I've done, I've just opened a second location. I've just fallen pregnant. Like, it's going to get wild for me. And, even just surviving that for me, I was really proud of as well. And I've actually, semi-news, I guess. I've actually sold my Melbourne space. So it has been sold as of last week, and a new management has taken over. And that is also something I'm really proud of, that I sold it to the manager who's been with me for 9 years. And, it's a legacy for me that was my first baby. I've had it for 14 years. My businesses are very much like a part of my identity, and letting that go has been hard, but also something that I'm really proud of, that I've been able to sell it for, make a profit of it. And it's also going to, somebody who I know is going to take care of it and, grow it and, look after the legacy of what I created there.
Congratulations. That's huge. How exciting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's very exciting times. And I'm hoping to maybe down the track look at maybe a second location here, because I don't like to sit on my laurels. So we'll just wait and see.
And on the flip side, what's a challenge that's taught you a valuable lesson along the way?
A challenge, I definitely think, I would say there's a couple of different ones, but I think definitely bringing back to that, the challenge was opening up my second location and falling pregnant unexpectedly was a little bit of a shock. And okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to manage that? And I ended up appointing one of my team members who was my manager here, Carly. She's my guardian angel. She's like a type A therapist / operations manager now. So she's my operations manager. And I knew I couldn't do it all. Like running 2 locations, everyone would always say to me, like, how do you do it? How do you do it? And I don't do it on my own. I delegate, and I have a team around me that helps me. And without them, it just wouldn't be possible. So Carly's she still is my operations manager. And so she would oversee the back end of everything pretty much. Like she'll go through the email, she'll do all the marketing, the social media, making sure invoices are getting paid, and just help with that. And I think it was the letting go of going, I can do it all, when you can't, is like going, okay, I need to allow people to help me. And I think also one of the hardest things as a business owner is coming off the floor. I found very early on was a huge challenge for me, because I felt, and I feel like a lot of business owners might relate to this, is when you start removing yourself from the floor from doing clients and purely just managing the team, you feel that there's a certain judgment that you're not doing enough, or your team are looking at you like, oh my God, like she just swans in and out. She doesn't do clients anymore. And it was like just kind of getting over that headspace of like, no, like I'm running the business here. I am doing lots of work. I know I may not be on the floor anymore, but I kind of had to get over that ego of feeling judged that, you weren't doing clients, so you wasn't really working. That was something that took me a little while to push through. But now I have an amazing team around me that does help me with all different areas of the business so that I could run both. And now that I don't have Melbourne, I've actually put myself back on the floor because I miss doing clients. I love doing that part, and I forgot how amazing and nice it is just to sit in a room and do a beautiful facial on a client and not have to worry about the outside dramas.
Definitely having that connection is so beautiful, and building those relationships with clients.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been. It's especially in Perth, like we've only been 4 years old now, so it's definitely a growing business. So we're starting to really build momentum with our clients and build up a regular database now.
Well done. And for listeners, what advice would you give somebody wanting to grow their clinic and build an empire of multiple locations?
Yeah, I would say for me, personally, what has worked well is consistency. So making sure that you're across the board with all your systems really in place. So making sure marketing was a big thing, especially at the growth phase, is making sure you're doing all your marketing and not just, to like Facebook and Instagram, that you're doing your marketing in terms of if you're doing like emails. Emails are not dead. They are still very, very effective. Text blasts, we try and do them quarterly. Even just handing out brochures to your local community. I'm very, very big on community, walking around, getting to know all the businesses around me, joining networking groups and focusing on that too to help build your brand. And then also, going back to what I was talking about before, is that, to grow your businesses, and if you're wanting to open a second location, you do need to remove yourself from the floor. So it's about letting that control go and like appointing, team as management. And like those young team members are really tech savvy. So you can save so much money by utilizing them for social media, for marketing, for any of those sort of tech things or creating things on Canva. Like they are really effective, and you don't have to outsource to these marketing brands, and that costs you an absolute fortune. So really utilize your staff from within to help save money and to grow your business. And then really, I guess, what I always found is what worked well for me is that when we were starting to get busy and getting momentum, even when we weren't fully booked, but I knew we probably needed a team to kind of take on extra clients, I would always hire casuals or girls that were training that we could then put new clients into. I think you just always got to have that mindset of like expanding and growing and making sure you might have a team member who's not super busy, but they will be eventually if you market them correctly, because you have to have that growth mindset that, the only way to keep growing is to have team, and the more team you have, the more you can get your books filled as well. So yeah, keeping your consistency through marketing, obviously team culture is massive, utilizing your team to help grow your business. And then I guess, the multiple salons is something you have to weigh up, to make sure it fits your lifestyle. And if it's something that's attainable and you can swing between back and forth and you're completely comfortable being off the floor, because it is very difficult to run two businesses and actually be on the floor doing clients. But they're the kind of the main things I would say with trying to grow your business.
That's incredible advice. And what's next for you and Lush? Are there any exciting projects or goals on the horizon?
Like I was saying, I've sold my Melbourne space, so I definitely have some goals. I would love to open a second location here in WA. I haven't decided what that looks like yet. I don't know whether it'll be another Lush or something completely different. We have just recently, in the last sort of 6 months, incorporated the Japanese head spas here in our salon, and we opened up one room. And it's a couples treatment room here. So we do a lot of couples treatments, and we just couldn't keep up with demand. Like, it is going absolutely nuts. So we then turned another treatment room it was a pedicure room. So we got rid of our pedicures, and then we turned it into just a single Japanese head spa room. And that itself as well is flat out. So there's a part of me that goes, I want to go down that road and do like a head spa space. Is it a novelty? Is it something that will wear off? Is it something here to stay? I'm not 100% sure. So I'm watching that space a little bit further. But look, I'm also doing networking groups here at the salon here. So for business owners, which is really nice. And I'm heading to Bali for obviously with Is Clinical, which is amazing, which I should have brought up before. They have a incredible platinum partner. So once you're a platinum partner, which is when you spend a certain amount with them, they take you on an annual trip. So our annual trip this year is to Bali. So we're going to Four Seasons Uluwatu or Jimbaran, I think it is. All expenses paid, flights, accommodation. I'm taking a staff member, Carly, my operations manager. So that is another incredible reason why to partner with them as well. But I'm heading there and looking at some stuff to bring back to the salon as well. So lots of little ideas floating around, but I don't want to speak just in case it doesn't happen. It's very, very exciting. But I'm definitely looking forward to Bali and spending also time with other Is Clinical business owners to find what's working for them and what they love about the brand as well.
I love Bali. That's going to be so much fun.
We leave on Tuesday, and Perth has been, I'm not sure what it's like where you are, but Perth has been absolutely freezing for Perth. For Perth, the rain hasn't stopped. And I'm like, just get me on that plane to Bali. Get me on that plane to Bali.
It has been the same here in Sydney.
Yeah.
It's not been amazing, but this has been amazing. And this has been a great podcast. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing all your insights and tips and your journey, for being so open and honest and genuine with us.
No worries. Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Laura, thank you for sharing your story and wisdom with us today. Your journey from one treatment room to a multi-state success shows what's possible with vision, passion, and the right partnerships like Is Clinical. For our listeners, check out Lush Skin and Body in Melbourne and Perth and explore the transformative science of Is Clinical. Links will be shown in the show notes. This has been the Aesthetic Business Masters podcast, and I'm Nicole Montgomery. Thank you for tuning in. If you loved hearing from Laura today, don't miss the chance to see her live at the Aesthetic Business Masters Perth this September. She'll be sharing her journey, insights, and how she's built a multi-state business while staying true to her values. Tickets are selling fast, so secure yours now and join us at Perth Zoo for a day of learning, connection, and inspiration.